Hi, everybody. It's Janet with Our Sonnet Voice.
Hi, everybody. It's Marie.
It's good to actually be talking with all of you right now. We know we have got a wonderful, wonderful group of followers, and we want to let you know that I'm still in Texas and moving. And Marie, where are you?
I'm in New York. Hi, everybody from New York.
Oh boy, I know. So summer is kind of a busy time. We hope you take the time to listen to this one and watch us on this one.
We
Talk.
won't keep you long, but we have some amazing things to talk about.
Yeah, one of them is why we have, it was a question that popped up in an article that we read, and it's why hasn't the gay community had a Me Too moment? And in our last blog, we wrote about something that I think leads to why it hasn't happened is because, the way that people party in each community is different. I know I party different than the gay community. I mean, I stand around with a cocktail and figure out who to talk to, right? How do you party, Marie?
Well, I'm sure it's very different for us than it is for people who are younger than we are. And people during COVID, everything has changed so much. It's jumbled up and it's different with different crowds of people too.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Me Too moment for the gay community or the LGBTQ community is coming up. I
I hope so.
well, with all of this opposition to people who have are, uh, you know, who are not white straight males. Of course, I don't know about you, but in my generation, we always suspected the straight white males because sometimes they get caught for, you know, activities in the bathroom and things like that. You just don't know. But I think the backlash against the LGBTQ community is bringing up issues that have never really been addressed. Don't you think?
I don't know which issues you are specifically referring
Well, the
to, but
laws against that people are people meaning people in the media are talking about with the decision from the Supreme Court on abortion could lead very well to making contraception illegal and gay marriage illegal. That's what I'm talking about.
well,
Because
I personally, I hope that that's a real stretch, a real reach for more sensationalism on their part. Um, but then again, I never thought they would overturn Roe v. Wade either, so
it's kind of like hoping your dog never bites anybody.
yeah, yeah,
And then
it
the
is,
first
it's
person
a
they
good
bite, but
analogy.
my dog's not like that, right?
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right. Well, I have this quote from Melissa Febos, and I'd like to
Oh,
read
good.
it here for just 2 seconds. It says, we cannot fully acknowledge the violences perpetrated against the LGBTQI community without a movement that affirms the humanity of and demands civil rights for these people. It is not enough for the people of such identities to cast off shame and demand justice. The listeners must join them, and for that, we need to hear their stories.
I agree. Oh
And
my
I
gosh, I
love that she said that
yeah.
because that's what we're all about here at Our Silent Voice. And also because in the past few weeks during Pride Month,
Mhm.
um, I think we've both met and talked to more people from the LGBTQ community, and we've learned and have really learned to like them and learned how warmly accepted we are when it's made known that we're just trying to learn about what it's like for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
And Janet and I would love to have more voices from the LGBTQ community in our next book, Our Silent Voice, Fierce, Brave, and Loud. So if
Yes,
you have a story,
exactly.
please send it to us. You know, oursilentvoice.com. You
Right.
know where to reach us.
Yes, you certainly do. And
Yeah.
I
Let's get this party started.
yeah,
Yeah, this Me Too
exactly,
movement, we got
exactly.
to do this.
Yeah, regardless of how we party, this can be
Right.
a party of learning how to establish the rights of the LGBTQ community. I mean, that sings to me. Why in the world would we not? Every individual that we know, that we've talked with, that we've heard from, are just magnificent people. I never thought they weren't magnificent people. It's just when you get to know somebody, it changes
Right.
everything, don't you think?
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
and
when you hear their stories,
I like what
you hear
Melissa
their
said.
individual stories.
Yeah, and I like what Melissa said, that it's time to stand up for those rights, to be recognized, to be heard. Part of it
Yeah.
is to write your story and be in, our next book. We love it because that gives us the kind of heft in our movement to say something and to be recognized. In fact, we are dedicated to having all communities of people who have expressed their differences to be heard. We think it's extremely important. I know that we don't have any gender bending rules in our Silent Voice.
No, and I think it is very important to be completely inclusive and to hear all those stories because, like I said, if Janet and I are learning and learning and learning, imagine that the rest of the world is going to be able to understand better and have more compassion and therefore vote differently and behave differently and change.
Exactly.
It's all about change.
It is all about change.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious about this organization I've heard about. It's called GMFA. GMFA is the Gay Men's Health Charity. And it says 62% of British gay men have been touched or groped in a bar without consent. Well, what does consent look like when you're groped in a bar? I don't know. I mean, with me or you, it's kind of like it's a guy doing it to a woman is a little different than a guy doing it to a guy. If I
Well, I
were,
don't think it's any different. I
you
don't
don't
think
think
it's
it's
any
any
different at
different?
all.
Well, it says 40% of gay and 47% of bisexual men have experienced sexual violence other than rape, compared to 21% of cis men. So there's a culture of silence. And I think I like this article by Michael Segalov. Let's see, where was it published? It was published I saw it on the web. It's called Why Hasn't the Gay Community Had a Me Too Movement? So you can Google that and you'll come up with Michael's article. It's really powerful because he says there's a culture of silence because of self-loathing.
Mm.
And self-loathing is an interesting psychological dynamic in that you're not okay. And what I mean, that's common amongst human beings. Listen, I listen to women who do not think they're okay because they're not this or not that, or don't have this or don't have that. And if they had that, things would work out for them and they would be happy. I think that dynamic is typical in all of us, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, yes. But it's such a misconception.
I know my mom weighed me starting when I was 13 years old, weighed me every Saturday to keep track of me not getting heavy because she didn't feel that being heavy was the right thing for her daughter or the daughter about her daughter, capital H, her daughter. Right?
Yeah.
And putting that kind of attention on being accepted is a false expectation, I think. So, going along with what Melissa said in her article, it's not just about feeling and being okay with yourself, it's changing the culture.
Yeah. It's not enough just to cast off the shame and walk on.
Right,
You have to tell your story
exactly.
because when other people hear your story, they understand you better.
And I think it would be interesting to hear from writers or people who want to write their story about how they see themselves, how they've been reacted to, and then
Mm.
what do you think now needs to change? Your mind or your body? You know, it's always that, and it's not about self confidence. It's about being heard, understood, appreciated, and cared about. right?
Well, I think those things are very meshed together because when your story is heard and accepted, it will boost your confidence. Of course, it will change the way you feel about yourself when somebody listens with compassion. They
Exactly.
say that that is when the real healing takes place
Yes,
in a therapeutic situation, is when you tell your story and someone really listens and
exactly.
accepts what you're saying without judgment. That's when the healing occurs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is when the healing occurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this
So
is
I
a
think,
bigger subject than our silent voice, but we want to hear from those of you who follow us. Speak to your friends. Everybody knows somebody who's experienced this. Not everybody knows how to write about it. Let us know. We're looking at having a workshop this fall, teaching people how to write about their trauma. There's a way to do it that is not, doesn't take you, doesn't
doesn't
take your.
re-traumatize you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We have a process we think may not re-traumatize. It One may be re-traumatized. I know when I wrote my story, there was a moment, several moments there where it felt like it, but once it got out, it changed, and it changed enough for me to gain distance and tell the story rather than worry about myself and my feelings.
Mhm.
So anyway, we have a way, and if you'd like to, we have on our website a if you are interested in a workshop, click on the tab and put in your email address. Let us know who you are, and we'll contact you when the workshop starts and see if we can work out a schedule.
Great. Okay, I guess we're going to leave it there.
We are.
Thanks,
We love
everybody.
you.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, exactly. It's Friday. Yes, exactly. And we love you. Bye.